Which NFL teams are making the playoffs and who's staying home? It's Who's In, Who's Out on 97.3 ESPN FM, South Jersey's football station.
All right, these are the 12 teams that we think will make the NFL playoffs this year. Kind of our first NFL preview, PT. In the AFC East, until somebody knocks that Patriots team off, I'm sticking with New England, even though there's no Brady for the first 4 weeks. I'm going New England. And I don't think there's a challenger. I still don't think there's a challenger. I don't think the Jets are getting close.
See it. Jimmy Garoppolo is not enough for me to knock New England out of that top spot. I think that the Jets, Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course, was a little disgruntled. I think he's out to prove something. But that said, I still don't think that the Jets have enough to eclipse the top of that division.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick might have had the best year he's ever going to have last year.
And that
wasn't good enough.
Right, that's why he wanted more money.
This one's tough in the North. I've got Cincinnati winning the North. I think, that defense is still very good. Andy Dalton, of the quarterbacks in there, Dalton might be the third guy. But he played pretty well last year, and they got a good defense. I'm going Cincinnati in the North.
Me too. I hope we don't match up on every one of our picks here, but Cincinnati would be my choice as well. I think that another year under the belt for Andy Dalton. I think that I look at what the other teams haven't done and look at what Cincinnati is. Like, they're more maintaining status quo, whereas I don't know who Flacco is going to throw the ball to in Baltimore. Pittsburgh can be hit or miss. Cleveland, we know, is a mess.
All right, in the South, last year I was on the Houston wagon pretty much most of the season. I'm going to stick with Houston. Even though the quarterback was a disaster there last year, they still were good enough to win the division. But that's because Luck was out. But I still think Houston's defense is too good. So I'm going Houston over Indy in the South.
I'm going the other way there. I'm going with the Colts. Healthy Andrew Luck, and I know it takes time for a guy to recover from an injury like that, but I think that the Colts will be back on top of the division.
In the West, you got the defending Super Bowl champions out there, but I'm going Kansas City. I think the quarterback problem in Denver is real. They lost some key pieces on defense. So I'm going Andy Reid's Chiefs over Denver in the West.
And I'm going opposite of that as well. I think Denver's defense does enough to get them to the top of the division, at least especially in the games where they face KC. KC factors into my picture later on, though.
Let's go from the, wild card teams. PT, who are your two wild cards in the AFC?
KC is one of them. And then, of course, since I picked Indianapolis, I'd say Houston is the other.
Interesting. I'm going two teams from the North, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to be scary this year. They got all those injured players back. Flacco's back. The weird Forsett story this weekend, but he's back. They got Perryman, impressive rookie receiver. I think Baltimore's back, and I think they get the second wild card spot. So I'm going Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincy. Three teams from one division.
Boy, not only did you not give the Colts the South Division, you knocked them out of the playoffs.
Their defense is a problem.
I know, but their offense could be really, really good.
All right, let's go from the West up in the NFC. I got Arizona in the West. I think they might be the best team in football.
Yeah, I would go with Arizona there as well. I think that, what Carson Palmer's been able to do, Bruce Arians has been able to do, I like Arizona a lot.
Defending Super NFC champions, Carolina. I still think they're good enough to win the South. I think Tampa is interesting there, but I'm going Carolina.
Road to the South runs through Carolina, and there's no reason that changes in my mind.
The North. Last year, I was Minnesota all the way from about week 10 on, and they did it. And I'm going Minnesota again. I think I probably would have gone Minnesota even without Bradford, but I think adding Bradford, I like Minnesota to win the North just because of their defense. Their defense is really good.
Right, and I think Minnesota makes the playoffs, but I don't have them winning that division. I actually have Green Bay winning that division.
In the NFC East, I'm going Washington. I think they're going to repeat, and that's will be the first time someone repeated in a long time.
As a lifelong Eagles fan, I can't believe I'm about to say these words. I'm high on the Redskins. Very high. I agree with you 100%. Best team in the division.
Your two wild card teams in the NFC are?
Well, one of them is Minnesota, because I have Green Bay winning that division. And the other team would probably be the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, that sounds like you pulled one out of a hat. I'm going Green Bay and Seattle as my two NFC wildcard teams. Green Bay, Seattle as the two wildcard teams in the NFC. All right, that's our first edition.
That was fun.
Of Who's In and Who's Out. We'll do that every week on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN.